If you are one of those people who are sitting on the sidelines and deciding whether you should subscribe to Claude Code or not, well, let me tell you, I've been using Claude Code for about a month now, and in this video, I want to go over a few questions I had before I actually decided to jump onto the Claude Code train. For example, is this worth your money? How do you justify this price? What made you bite the bullet to even try Claude Code in the first place? How has this changed my workflow? What have I built with it so far? And how is this any different from Cursor and Windsurf? When I actually started using Claude Code, there was only two plans. You either have to subscribe to the $100 max plan or the $200 max plan. And that was a lot of monthly subscription, like cash to be burning. But now there's actually a $20 a month plan that you can use, and some difference is basically like the usage of different models. The Pro plan, you can only use Sonnet 4, and then $100 max plan is that you can use Sonnet and Opus, and then $200 is like, if you hit that limit, I'm really wondering what you're doing. Anyway, that's kind of like the plans that's available now. So if you're not willing to try the $100 plan, then $20 a month might be for you, at least to try it out and see if you want to upgrade or not. For me, I started with a $100 plan because the $20 didn't exist back then, literally a month ago. Honestly, within the first few days, I already fell in love with this tool. Not only that, I reached the limit in like a week, and you'll know how I reached this limit so easily when I talk about my workflow later in the video. After 1 week, I just ended up upgrading my subscription to the $200 max plan. And ever since then, even though I exclusively use the Opus model, I have not reached the limit at all. And that's the one thing I really like about Anthropic, is that you really do get what you pay for. Yes, the models are extremely expensive compared to the other providers, but they are just so good at coding. So what led me to bite the bullet to even put down that first $100 to try Claude Code? I really thought of Claude Code subscription as an investment into my time and my knowledge. I think of it as a separate coworker who doesn't complain and ask me to file a Jira ticket before they actually get onto the task. I also had this notion in my head that I wanted to get rid of like not being able to trust AI agents. And that just came from my experience using AI agents in Cursor, Windsurf, and VS Code. It just made me feel like these agents are not reliable. And to hear Claude Code creator saying that 80% of Claude Code was written by Claude Code, am I missing something here? Is there something more to this agentic coding workflow that I have not unlocked? I wanted to know, is this a skill issue or is this the tooling issue that I am using? But because I knew as a solo founder, I do need to rely on AI coding agents to streamline my workflow so I can build and ship products faster. At the same time, I wanted a tool where I can sink my teeth in that had a high skill ceiling, yet easy to use and very customizable all at the same time. Fortunately, Claude Code fits all of that requirements. It is extremely easy to use, has a really high skill ceiling in terms of you can make this thing as complex and build things on top of it as much as you want. There's commands, there's hooks, there's SDK, there's command line flags. There's so many things you can do to enhance your Claude Code experience. Within a few weeks' time, Claude Code has become a foundational AI coding platform for me. Now you may be wondering, what is my workflow with Claude Code? I basically start out with a plan, output that plan into a markdown file, review that plan meticulously before I actually hand that plan off to my parallelize command, and that parallelize command will actually implement that plan X amount of number of times, as in I can specify the number of parallel Claude Code instance that is going to execute that plan. So I end up with multiple futures or multiple different results. And after those have finished, I go into each of those work trees that contain the results and figure out which one was implemented the best. And I pick that one, I go into that work tree, and I review the code all in there, fix up any errors, and then merge that back into the main branch. Not only can I parallelize the same task to get multiple different results, I can parallelize multiple tasks and get multiple results from multiple tasks, as if I had an infinite amount of coworkers I can spawn at any given moment. All I would have to do is review their code before I merge it back into the main branch and make sure it is all good. To take it a step further, I actually built this tool called Claude Maestro on top of Claude Code. It's basically an open AI codex clone, but for Claude Code. It streamlines the parallel agentic workflow that I was just talking about to be able to easier track each Claude Code instance and things like that. Once this plan is done, I'm going to actually be able to execute the plan, and it's going to run that plan in using Claude Code SDK as well. And here, this instance dropdown is exactly the same as the parallelize command. Basically, it determines how many worktree and Claude Code instance do I want to create to work on this one task. And as you can see, while this is generating, I can actually input another task, and I can just keep adding, and it'll just do it in parallel. So here is the plan to execute. I can actually edit this plan, hello, right here, and I can hit this to save it, or I can hit this X to revert the plan. Let's say I'm okay with this plan. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna hit execute this plan. It's gonna create a work tree for this session, and you're going to notice here that we are now in the code phase. So I've clearly labeled plan and then code phase, and then I'm also going to have a review phase at some point as well. So this code phase is going to generate the code and make modifications to your project. Once it's done, I can merge it, I can archive it, or I can copy the branch name. I could also click this code button, and it's going to open the work tree in Windsurf. And yeah, this is the tool I've been working on using Claude Code mainly to code almost everything here. Now, how is this fundamentally different from Cursor and Windsurf? Well, for one, Cursor and Windsurf doesn't expose their API or SDK so that you can't really build features on top of them, which kind of sucks, honestly. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I love Claude Code, is that you're not waiting for some third-party company to implement a feature request that you posted on some forum. If you have a feature you want, Claude Code has really awesome SDK and CLI, so it's all there for you to build on top of. It is a agentic coding platform. As I said before, it's basically giving the power back to your users. Unlike Windsurf and Cursor, where the features are what the features are. You have what you're getting from those companies. And honestly, with all the drama surrounding both Cursor and Windsurf lately, I'm just not really into all that. I just want something stable that I know I can build on top of. I don't need to rely on other companies to build features for my specific workflow. Like, I know what I want, I'm gonna build it. That's how I work. If you enjoyed this video, you might be wondering how I set up my parallel agentic coding workflow. Definitely check out this video right here. Otherwise, hit that like, subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Yeah? Peace.